question of the day: is physical media still relevant in 2023? Well, you can see I've got a lot of it behind here, and I also have my Steam Deck, which is purely a digital device. I do primarily collect Evercade, but have I been swayed now spending some time with the Steam Deck? You're going to want to find out, and you may be surprised on what I have to say.
I'm Warren Davis, and you're watching the Evercade Effect.
Evercade Effect.
Welcome to Evercadians and Rich enthusiasts. You're watching the Evercade Effect, and I am Rich who killed this name. Alrighty, if you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you again so much for all your support. So for those of you who don't know, as I mentioned in my intro, I primarily collect Evercade is my choice for physical media, and I also have recently acquired a Steam Deck towards the end of last year, and before that, I'm still hanging on to my PS4, though to be honest, I haven't been spending much time with it. So I thought this was a relevant question, for me to go ahead and ask myself, now in 2023, is physical media still relevant? Yes, no? It's not a simple, straightforward question, or answer, really. Because to some people, the answer might be, yes, long live physical media forever. And then, you got the kids out there that are like, nah, ew, physical media. Why would I ever want that? Or why would I ever want a game on an old man device like this? So, it really just depends. So this is just strictly my perspective again. However you play, physical, digital, I really don't care. It doesn't matter to me. As long as you enjoy yourself gaming. Otherwise, if you don't enjoy yourself gaming, why are you gaming? First, let's start off, with the physical media and how it's relevant to me. So, primarily the main reason I got into Evercade is for the physical media, for the physical booklets, the curation of the games, and all that good stuff, and the pure nostalgia of it, right? Plus, you don't break the bank. They're like 20 bucks USD, and you get a great selection of games. You definitely get more than $20 worth in your game, so it's a neat way to get into retro gaming. And yes, it's all emulation, but I really don't care about that. It's really good emulation. So, with all that said, it's fun being able to, just hold it in your hands, and, I can look behind there and see that I physically have it, versus on my Steam Deck, it's all hidden. I mean, mentally, I remember what I have, but I don't know. It's not something I can enjoy and look at every day. So for me, the physical media was just a relevant, fun way to get nostalgia, and it's also nice to have plug and play. I mean, you just go ahead and you pop in that cart, you hear the sound. There's a lot of fun with that. Of course, the downside is if you want to switch between a lot of games, then you're limited to what you have there, or you have to have your stack next to you, which sometimes can be fun, but it can also, be a curse. So, Evercade is definitely all about the experience and the curation and discovery, as I've said many times. However, with the Steam Deck, the nice thing is you can sit there and you can switch between games. I mean, also too, they're different games, a lot of modern indie retro PC games that just wouldn't be able to be downported or have constant updates, so they just wouldn't work on the Evercade. But it is nice just to be able to switch between all these games. Yes, I can't physically touch them or anything else, but I can sit down for a gaming session and just be lazy on my butt and not have to move through everything. So, for me, the reason I was able to trust and go back to digital is because Valve has been around for a very long time. Basically they've been in the service business from the beginning. They didn't have a console. I mean, yeah, they made a couple games, but Valve has just made it so convenient, so easy, and so secure without the DRM, like messing up your system or causing performance issues. Now, Ubisoft and all that other stuff, that's another topic, but they kind of did what Apple did with iTunes, they've done with PC gaming. And the same token, Evercade has done the same thing with emulation. You go ahead, you pop in a cart, you fire up the game, there's no nonsense, you don't have to mess with the OS. Yeah, there's minor configuration like scan lines and all that, but you can't tinker with it, you can't dive deep into it. Probably the most advanced thing you can do is update the firmware, and even now that is more automated since the new EXP has Wi-Fi on it, which I don't have yet. But that's another video if you want to know why I don't have that. Check out my previous videos, maybe I'll throw up a card or put in the description below. Anyways, so they serve their two different purposes. If you look back in history, Sony, they threatened to close down the PS3 store. Who knows how much longer that's going to be online. I'm sure the PS4 store will, that'll go end of life probably by a PlayStation 6 or 7, and whenever I bought a game, especially like a digital game, through the PS4 store, I knew that it was temporary. So I really only wanted to spend, a couple bucks for a game, get it on sale, knowing that at any time, Sony could just axe the store, and then I wouldn't have the game, and then hopefully I have it on downloaded. So, why do I bring this up? Well, with the Steam Deck, you can install EmuDeck, you can do emulation, you can do all those things, which I've dabbled in a little bit just to test it out, but I haven't kept it installed. One of the reasons why, not only do you have the configuration and do all that, but then you have to bring your own ROMs with you. Now I have to maintain, I have to save them in the cloud, I have to save them on a separate USB. I have to worry about that. And then anytime I move or upgrade to a new platform, I've got to move the ROMs with me. And it's more of a pain than you think. Some people, love the curation, doing all that. And for me, there was a point in time when I did love to do that. But, as far as, I work all day in computers, and the last thing I want to do is have to mess with that stuff. And not only that, I want to know that if I log in like a year, 5 years from now, my collection, those games are going to be there. And that's why digitally, I just recently picked up the anniversary Contra collection. But something that cheap, for digital, it was a no-brainer. If I log in here years from now, I'll have it. I'll have my saves, And so it's the same way, Evercade is like that. You have the saves and the carts are there, and they're physical. So what I'm trying to say is that whether you have your games digital or physical, accessibility is super important. And that is one of the, the huge things that Evercade does have, is that as long as you have the physical cart, you can play the game, you can pop in the game, there's nothing else that needs to be done, you're good to go. And you have the physical booklets, and you have all the nostalgia and all that. That's the one thing that I don't get with the Steam Deck. Sure, I gotta go through, and I get to play the games, and yes, it is nostalgic, let's say me playing something like the Contra collection, but not as nostalgic because I don't have the physical cart. So for me, I think it is still relevant in 2023, because, yeah, I love the nostalgia. It's something that I can collect. It's the one thing that I can collect. I can be proud of. It's easily accessible. I'm not having to go for the hunt, and go to stores and hunt things down. And if you want to do that, that's perfectly fine. But with me and my lifestyle, that really doesn't work. It's just super exciting that once every 2 months, I get 2 new carts in the mail. I get to go to the Discovery. Yeah! I get to play games that I never knew about. And then I've always got them, and I've always got the save states with them. And I think that is just, super important. And so you definitely have to trust your source. And for digital, like with Steam, I trusted that source. Yeah, I don't have the physical media, but then again, PC gaming hasn't been physical media for a long time. I don't even know if you can get collector's editions or whatnot. But yeah, if I didn't trust the source, I never would have went to Valve. And even though I have a machine where I could, full-blown load every ROM and play every game, I don't want to do that. I don't want to spend the time or the effort, and quite frankly, I like having the achievements. Yes, you heard me say it, and having everything built into the interface that Valve has, and you don't get that. Same with when you load, games that aren't Steam Store games. And with Evercade, you get all that, you get all the integration. They've now added playtime. Hopefully, maybe we'll get achievements. So to me, I guess what I'm trying to say is the ecosystem matters. And for me, the Evercade ecosystem matters. And as long as Evercade stays physical like they have been, that separates them completely from anyone else. And I think they know that. That it's not only just physical media, but it's the type of games. They're not just taking, like the latest like indie title. If it could run something like Hades, they're not just throwing that on there. But then again, a physical copy of Hades would be cool. So maybe I'm wrong, but you get what I'm saying. So I think the ultimate answer is, depending on each individual, you have to ask yourself. And it's not necessarily just with video games. It could also be, with VHSs, with DVDs and all that. Do you have your favorite show on DVD? The wife and I, we definitely, we had the Mystery Science Theater 3000. We have a lot of those DVDs because it's a show that we like to go and watch again and again. Things change around from cable providers. The only thing I can say is right now Blaze is stable. They're the stable provider. And they're putting out the type of carts of physical media for the games that I'm into, and for everything else. That's where Steam, Valve fills in the gap on my Steam Deck. I can play these other games, that are different from Evercade. There's different retro and indie games is mainly what I play. And if there is a rare, AAA title, I can do that. Okay, I've rambled on long enough, but what I really want to know, in the comment section below, let me know how relevant is physical media to you in 2023. is that a huge reason and a big important reason of why you got into Evercade is for all the physical media. Why do you go ahead and collect it? And if you just happen to find me through the YouTube verse and you aren't yet subscribed and you do like this video, please go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, and share with a friend. It really, really, really helps me and this channel out. And what you may want to do too is check out some of these other previous videos that I've done, and check out my second channel, Calling All Retro Gamers, with Retro Rich You from Bacon Ice Cream Productions, where we do talk other related things that are retro, and we do a live podcast. Matter of fact, we recently had Tim from Tim's Tiny Arcade on, and that show was a blast. As always, thank you, and bye-bye.